Welcome, everybody. My name is Lauren Bailey. My friends call me LB. I will be your host today. I am joined by the lovely, the charismatic, the killer, Carrie Smith.
Hello.
Oh, that was nice. That was very zen. Carrie is an active member of Girls Club and raised her hand as Factor 8 was looking for our latest sales executive. And now she works with us. This is her first live appearance with us. Give her a warm round of applause, please. Maybe in the chat. That would be cool. Very good. All right, here we go. Let's talk about what we're going to do in 30 minutes or less today. Come on with me, slides. All right, there we are again, blah, blah, blah. What's important about this slide, you guys, is that Outreach is sponsoring us to do these. And this is important, especially because you're with us today, Carrie, because one of your very first interview questions was, do you have outreach, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's a ninja wizard in outreach, and we love them. They sponsor us in Girls Club. Almost all of my clients use them. You can't lose if you use outreach. Thank you very much, folks, for being with us in outreach. Now, we're talking about cold calls and call openings. Why? Very, very simple. You can't get home if you can't get on first. Your opening gets you on first, okay? Don't practice your closing. Don't worry about overcoming objections. Killer openings fill the funnel. If you're not a baseball fan, here's another look at it. You can't get home if you can't get on first. So here we go. Sales shot number one. The goal of your intro isn't what everybody else in the world has told you it is for the last 30 years. It's not about sparking interest, earning the right, showing value. Folks, they're not listening to you, okay? Your intro isn't about selling. When you try to do these things, you sound like this dude. You're showing up and throwing up. Introduction is not the time to start selling. Don't show up and throw up, okay? That's the problem that's happening. The goal instead, you guys, thanks everybody. I hear the stat, I see the chat. The goal instead is to get the decision maker talking. That's what we care about, okay? Let's see if we can get that to advance. That's your only goal in your intro. And what that means, you guys, is that ours have to be short as possible. Under 10 seconds, go for under 5 seconds. Get him talking fast and answer what he's thinking about. Who are you? What do you want? And why should I give a damn? That's what a good intro does, and it does it fast. We use something called the SWIIFT intro. I think we did finally service mark this. I'll tell you what, it works. Their name, your name and company, the abbreviated version. Please don't spell it out, right? I can be LB with Factor 8. I'm going to be Lauren Bailey, Senior Executive Owner of Factor 8, Girls Club, and the sales. Like, come on, make it fast, fast, fast. Then this is the key. Your ear perk, your lever, or your SWIIFT purpose statement. I'll tell you more about that in a second. And then you end with a SWIIFT question. That's the key. Here's the extra shots to make it even better. Number one, start with the name, grab my attention and say it like you know me. Okay? It's not Mr. Smith. This is Lauren Bailey calling. Carrie, it's LB. Okay? Grab it. Why? Because they're busy. They answered your call on accident if it's a cold call. They thought it was their kid's daycare. They're busy and they're doing their email. And you say, hey, LB. Natural human behavior. They're going to look up. All right. Next shot. Perk my ear. That's step 3. I want you to tell me my goal. Pardon me, the goal of the call, but I want you to do it in a way that I give a damn about. Make sure I care. Here's a tip. You introducing yourself as my new account rep does not perk my ear. You touching bases with me adds no value to me. 9 out of 10 openings are, right? Do something that I care about. Why do we have to perk our ear? One more time. They're not listening to you. They're doing their email. You literally have to scream their name, then grab them by the ear and get them to look up to listen to you. And what comes right after that? A few questions that are going to get them talking. We call them SWIIFT questions because they go fast, okay? It needs to be short. Rote answer. That means yes or no, one word, and something you can answer without thinking. Carrie, how many kids do you have? Carrie, how much do you weigh?
You really want to, you're asking that question?
She has it in her head. but the filter stopped before it came out of her mouth. This is what you want, okay? Something that I auto answer in my head. It's something I know the answer to. I don't care if you don't have to know the answer. Or make them your qualifier questions. Keep it simple. Let's look at an example. Mark, I'll be here with Factor 8. Hey, your VP of sales asked me to give you a call. I promised him that I would. That's a lever and it's super, super helpful. Hey, have you worked with David for a while now? Are you running field or inside with him? The or, right? How many reps on your team now? Now, I actually care about some of those questions, right? These might be my qualifying question, but they're fast answer. And that's the key. Why is it the key? Because Mark just started talking to me. He didn't even mean to. But now Mark's talking and I'm on first base. Right about question 3 is when Mark's going to go, wait, what? Who are you with again? And now he's listening. Whip out that value prop and knock his socks off. Don't start the sales call with it, you guys. Too many people have told you to start with your value prop, or I'm working with similar companies, or do your quick pitch. All that does at the beginning is light a neon sign that says sales call, sales call, sales call. And we don't really love taking those anymore, do we? All right, so sneak in instead with a SWIIFT intro. So I'm going to go back to that third section. Okay. Remember again, we're talking their name, your name, and then boom, that ear perk. The ear perk that picks them up by the ear and gets their attention. We call it a SWIIFT statement or SWIIFT value, and we didn't misspell it. It's spelled with 2 I's because it stands for so what's in it for them? The opposite of WIFM. So what's in it for them? There are some key things you can't go wrong with. Now, we dive into how to use this so much better in our class, but I've trained this around the world, literally. And everything business people care about boils down to one of these things on the slide. By the way, this is the cheat sheet to turn your features and functions into benefits. What do people care about? Time. Give me time back in my day, save me time, take less time, whatever it may be. It's an intrinsic business value. Money used to be the #1 answer on the board. Now it's number 2. And I will tell you, that's the truth. I absolutely think that's true. I would rather give you $50 and get off the phone with you right now than to spend 30 minutes with you. And I can't believe how many reps call and ask that with the lead in. Hey, could I get 30 minutes? F you, man. My kid doesn't get 30 minutes. So, right, you got to add value. Save me the time, make me the money, increase my profit margins, help my spending go down, improve my ROI, all money, ease. Now, I will tell you as a working mom that number 3 is #1 for me. If you can make my life a little bit easier, if you can make it simpler, if you can reduce my frustration, boom, you got me. All right, the rest of these play in, but chances are on a cold call, you're going to lead with one of the first 3. Reputation is making sure I look good. Power is somebody who likes control. Think everybody in purchasing. Risk, think everybody in finance, right? Help me avoid the risk of or protect me from. And number 7 is a trick, simple bonus. It's a lever, okay? A lever works. The #1 most important lever is somebody that they work with. Not somebody you work with, like the old rep, right? Carrie calls up and says, hey, Lauren asked me to call. Nobody gives a damn, right? Who her boss is. Like, they want to know that their boss or somebody in their company wants you to talk with them. And there's some really fun ways to use that. We don't have time to get into it on this shot. Grab one of these, put it into number 3, and it looks like this. Bob, Lauren with Factor 8. The goal of my call is to save you $8,000 this month. Simple. 1 sentence. If it takes you longer than 30 seconds to write this, and I please invite you all to do so, you're doing it wrong. Here's time. Bob, Lauren calling with Factor 8. I'm calling to see if I can save you 17 to 22 days of rep ramp time next quarter. Now you'll notice that I made each of these weirdly specific. Okay. I do not have studies that say I can save people $8,000 in 19.6 days. But if I were to say 19.6 days, it's a pattern interrupt. And people find it kind of interesting. So I say, go for it. Are you ready for the bonus part? We're moving on to the SWIIFT question, and then I will pause for a couple questions because we're doing okay on time. Let's good that I had that practice as an auctioneer. Here we go. Your SWIFT question is the silver bullet. It's closed, 1 to 5 words. It's no brainer. Yes, no's work great. Again, the goal of this is to get them talking before they even realize it. So let's look at another example. Remember this? Mark, LB here with Factor 8. I'm hoping I can get you and your team some higher commissions this quarter. So really quick in chat, which benefit was this? Which value was I using as my ear perk? Reputation, power, money, time. There we go, Leslie. Money, 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 money. Hi, Tobias. Thank you. You got it, right? Simple. Here are the questions I chose. Now, these can be tough because you don't want to be like, where are you located? And they'll respond with, don't be lazy, look me up on LinkedIn. Okay, so you have to be careful and pick the right ones. Almost always, these are your qualifier questions. And if you don't do sales qualification, come back for that sales shot. It's critical. Do you have a team of at least 10 reps? Right? Do you have 10 or more reps? You could say otherwise. How many reps do you have? These are one-word answers. Are you outbound or inbound there? Do you have a few open recs right now? A few open seats? Those might lead into a discussion about recruiting, okay? Think about what you need to know that they can answer quickly that will start to lead you down a path of the right sales conversation. If you get all of these answered and you haven't been interrupted with, who the hell is this again? Your next question is one of your explore questions. It's time for you to start uncovering needs and values and looking for some gap. Cool. Okay, let's pause really quick. Anything big in the chat, Carrie, that we need to address before we go to our second shot?
Well, Kanisha had asked what can be the type of questions that we can ask that aren't too salesy.
Oh.
And I put a link in the chat to the SWIFT intros in a box.
Cool.
Which I think has been really helpful for me with how to break down questions and think about what are those quick one-word kind of things you can ask.
Good. So Kanisha, go to your qualifying questions, take a look at that free resource, and consider signing up for our masterclass at the end where we're going to dive into this training, e-learning and live training and coaching, and that'll help you. The results, like we literally doubled and tripled talk time for some people. All right, now let's talk about staying on base. Okay, you got to first. How do you stay there? Well, sometimes they say, gee, who is this again? But usually they respond with something more like this. Oh, I'm not interested. Hey, we're all set. I'm not in charge of that. I've got a vendor. I'm in a meeting. I'm on my way to a meeting. I'm just out of a meeting. I wish I was in a meeting. I should be in a meeting. I really, really love meetings. Okay. They're going to throw something at you. This is called a brush off. Be clear. It's not an objection. And that means you have to handle it differently. Okay. Objections are roadmaps. An objection means they've listened to your pitch. They have a question. Their objection is informed. Now, the great news about objections is that it tells you what you've got to do to close. A brush off is not that. A brush off simply means, I don't care right now. Okay? It doesn't mean I hate you. It doesn't mean feel despondent and rejected. It means I got stuff going on right now and just know I just can't do this. Right? Now, the key is you can't answer a brush off like you would an objection. You have to go around it instead. So beat the brush off by getting them talking again. Ask a question. It can be related, it can be unrelated, but that one thing it cannot be is defensive or confrontational. Okay? So if somebody says, I don't have time right now. Oh, saving money isn't important to you? Yeah, you know what? Bite me. That's what I say to that. This is it. I'm never going to I will never, ever have a sales conversation with you again with that kind of response. Don't get defensive. Don't get snippy with me. I have a life before you called. You've all been interrupted as well. Okay. Let's be respectful. We're the cold callers here. So let me give you guys some examples. I don't have time right now. Whew. Sounds like it's been a bit nuts for you. Are you on a big deadline? Okay. That's a related question. I'm addressing the fact of something to do with time. Right? Have things been crazy for you since the pandemic? Are Tuesdays the worst days of the week? Don't you wish it was Friday? Anything that has to do with, I get it, you're super busy, So am I. Let's spend some time over wine talking about it. Okay. Next example is an unrelated. I don't have time right now. Sure. Hey, did you guys get dumped on the snow last week? Totally out of left field. You could literally insert anything here. Okay. Anything. Make it a rote answer, however. If you come by rote, you guys, you know, I mean that same as the SWIFT questions. Easy to answer, yes, no. I think about the answer before, and it's like halfway out of my mouth. If it pops into my brain, it's halfway out of my mouth, okay? Make it easy for them. This is not the time to say, so Carrie says, I don't have time right now. And I'm like, Carrie, tell me about your biggest challenge when it comes to your onboarding. You can't leave with that. You got to warm them up. Yeah, right? Hell no. Forget about it. All right, a couple extra shots here. You basically don't even hear what they're saying, okay? Guys, let it roll right off your back. Why? Because their reason is BS anyway. Give it absolutely no attention. Second extra shot, stay sweet. You are there to commiserate. Commiserate means both of us are going to complain about our boss together. It means we're both going to complain about the weather together. Okay, commiseration is some of the fastest bonding small talk and rapport building that there is. Let's all complain about the pandemic. Let's all complain about the new math in school. Okay, stay sweet. Yeah, mind blown. Don't get defensive. Now, that is literally, this slide is the hardest part of everything that we're training, and it takes practice. Why? Because we're humans and we have defense mechanisms. And when somebody tells me I'm stupid, I automatically want to say that they're ugly. It's just how it works. Okay. So you have to be the bigger person here. You have to have them be able to say, F you, and you be like, sounds like you're having a really tough day. Right? You're kind of like their mom and their therapist rolled into one here. All right, the other extra shot I have on this is make sure that you go in light. Okay, just don't try to do your whole sales call after they brushed you off. Make the goal to get 5 more minutes, and then you get off the phone and they'll love you more. Okay, so I give you an unrelated question. I get Carrie talking about the snow, and I say, oh, my gosh, me too. We commiserate for a minute or two. I've kept her on the phone. And then I say, listen, I just have one quick question for you. Right? Who is the person in your company who runs blah, 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 blah? Or, hey, do you guys, I have in my system that you've got 200 employees there, but I thought I saw that you've done a lot of growth. How big is your company right now? I'm just making these up as I go along, right? Then you're going to bridge to the next call. I know you said that you're crazy busy right now. I would love to speak with you more. Could I ask you please for 20 minutes to just listen to what I've got to say and learn more about you and see if we're a fit? And if we're not, I promise I won't take more than 20 minutes. How's Tuesday look for you? Okay, set the appointment for the follow-up. That you will get more meetings. And even if they don't show up for the meeting, they're going to feel guilty about it and they're going to take your next call. Cool. Any questions coming up around this? Or are we ready to move on to our bonus chaser? Chat it in if you've got a question. Otherwise, we've covered our intros, we've covered our brush off, and now we're going to talk about PMA. What's PMA?
There was one question from
okay, good.
I'll answer that real quick.
Let's do it.
When somebody asks me if they're not interested, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I say, either give me 20 more seconds to prove why I'm not interesting, and then you can hang up on me. That works pretty well.
Oh, that's pretty good. Okay, but you didn't mean I'm not interesting, right? You meant I'm not interested.
Right, but
yeah,
people are often not interested because I must not be interesting.
Oh, so you mean it on purpose? That's hilarious.
Oh yeah,
that really works.
That's a good pattern interrupt.
Oh, I like that. Okay, so I say not interested, and you say, do it one more time.
Not interested. I must be really boring. Would you give me 20 more seconds to show you why you're not interested? And then you can hang up on me. Something like that.
I like it. Just straight up ask for it. Good. Mm-hmm. So What if you were to use something that's completely unrelated question? What if we tried that? I'm not interested.
You're not interested in dinosaurs or me? I'm not sure I would do that. This has worked. I don't know. I haven't had to do so many of those with the totally unrelated
That's pretty funny.
thing.
That's pretty great. So you could literally go in and say, I'm not interested. Yeah, I hear you loud and clear. Are you in the office again yet, or are you working from home? Just a random question, any random question. I'm not interested. All right, I get that. Boxers or briefs? No, don't do that.
But that's a habit to build though, because if it's not a knee-jerk reaction on the SDR side, then you just I practiced actually. I had a friend who was really good at being my mean guy.
Yeah.
I would call him and say like, I need mean guy help.
Yeah.
I was used to calling us grill me on like, I'm not interested. I don't have any time. You're a jerk.
Yeah.
And we would just like, just so I could practice.
Your family's
off the
ugly.
cuff.
You have to practice that.
Oh my
Like
goodness,
this one too. This is from Nick. What about if you say, I'm not interested? Are you not interested? Is it that you're not interested, or you just don't want to talk with another cold caller?
That's good.
I like that too, right? And then they're like, well, to be honest, you'd be like, it's okay. I get it. I'm the most hated man in America. I literally just have 3 questions for you. So bear with me really quick, would you? Boom, boom, boom. And off you go. Like as soon as you can get human and drop the script, it works. That's why all of these examples are working well. Deborah says, so what do you say if they do give you 20 more minutes? Deborah, that's where you go into get a little info. And our goal is usually first to qualify and then bridge to an actual explore call. You may find out she's the wrong person anyway, right? Maybe the info you want to get is exactly what her role and if she's involved in this, or maybe you want to get what their current system is. Maybe you want to get, okay, if you haven't sat down with your team and decided what makes a super great opportunity, start there and then form your questions backwards, turn them into SWIFT questions, and you're on your way. Nice. I want to cover the positive mental attitude with Carrie Smith. You guys, we've never had a BDR SDR at Factor 8. And the truth is we still don't make cold calls. They're all pretty warm, right, Carrie? But
no, I'm cold calling. We are cold. Like most of what I'm doing is cold calls now. Yeah.
When I listened to Carrie's audition to get this job, I was so impressed. This girl knows her stuff. So what she is going to talk to us about is how she keeps it positive, how she keeps it nice, because cold calling is rough. And I'm sorry that I turned you into Yoda, but look at this meme. Smile and dial, you will. All right, Carrie.
I like it.
First tip for keeping it positive. Here we go. Hit it.
Get into character. It's a confidence game. It completely is. And it's almost like it's a voice gig where we get to, nobody sees you, nobody knows what you're doing. We get to be on the other end of this call and be who we want to be, but it has to be confident, or especially calling into, they can smell it out if you're not believing what you're saying.
It's such a confidence sport, right? And so when you say get into character, you don't mean get into the smarmy cold call character. You mean like Sasha Fierce, I need to be a badass kind of.
Well, I have a pickaxe that I forgot to bring in with me today that I was going to put on my shoulder for you. Because it's like right out there in my other room, but there's
so other people will wonder why there's an axe in your hallway.
Yes, and it's not safe with 7-year-olds around. But we're prospectors. I mean, we like, so, and I'm into ridiculous publicity stunts anyway. So holding a pickaxe is, it helps. It's character. That's what we get to do.
Carrie, we've talked about pattern interrupt and being human all throughout this, and confidence. There's a guy I know who literally uses his opening on Fridays. He wears ridiculous costumes into the office in Denver, right? And he makes it part of his opening. And he's like, hey, how are you? And they're like, fine, how are you? Because that's how, people do the law of reciprocity. He's like, you know what? Today's Costume Friday, and I am wearing Easter Bunny pants right now. I'm freaking fantastic. And people are like, I don't know what to do with that, but they stay on the phone. So getting into character, whether it's an Easter Bunny or a rock star, is important. And let's make sure we pick the confident character. Awesome.
Yeah.
I love that tip. All right, next one.
Batch processing. It's tough to keep the confidence up for 3 hours in a row, but what really is helpful is to take, okay, I'm going to dial for an hour and treat it like an assembly line. You're a manufacturer of cold calls, and you've got to be as efficient as possible. So batch processing, where you call intensely for an hour, do other things at those other times, and just bang it out.
Yeah. So would you, for instance, try to batch your calls for, these are cold in the manufacturing space. So I'm going to use the same intro 17 times in a row. And these are follow-up calls to people who blew me off last week, like that level of batching, or just
No, more by just call time zone, because once you get in a groove, it's easy just to switch slightly and okay, I'm calling this industry now, or calling this industry, or it's a follow up, but just dial like crazy and then stop, get the intensity back up again, and go again.
Yeah, let yourself come down. Relax. Have a beer. You're getting tons of shout outs in the chats, by the way, right? Legit, call blocking is real.
Oh, there we go. See it. Yeah, I'm standing right now. It affects energy. If you're able to stand while you dial, it is a significant energy difference in how you feel and what you say and with the energy that you're bringing across. And I don't know if this will come up in one of the slides, but one of the things I do energy wise, and this is based on neuroscience and body positioning, is I set a timer for 2 minutes before I dial, and I go, yes,
Power pose.
yes. Yeah, power. And it work. I'm like, I'm a confident top performer. I make book meetings that stick, and they stick because of me. And my 7-year-old has that memorized. When we were sharing an office, height of the pandemic, he was like, "Mommy, keep it down." I'm like, I gotta do it. It works.
But listen, like, let's all be grateful that we're not in an office right now, so we don't have to hide in the bathroom and do this. You can do it, and you will feel like an idiot.
Oh, completely. But
it works.
But it works. It absolutely works. If you got to do music, whatever you got to do, just get the energy up so that, because it comes into the tone side of things too, because people can hear it. I mean, that's all we've got. I think that's at the next slide with tone. And
tone.
Our voice is our most powerful tool. And there's somebody on the other end of a call judging what we say and how we say it instantaneously. And so if we sound boring, we are boring. If we have too much energy, we're obnoxious. So there's a fine line with how you do tone, but our voice is very, very powerful. And I think it's underestimated.
And we don't listen to it much because we all hate to hear our own voice, if we're really honest. But your advice is, don't wait for the call coaching with your manager. Review your own game tape.
It's surprising the things that you can notice. Like maybe you're having an uptone on a statement and turning it into a question. Like, no, it's a statement. My company name is a statement, not a question. So it's
an exclamation.
It goes back into confidence too. Because if I'm questioning what I'm saying, I'm going to uptone. But if it's a confident statement, I'll be flat or down a little bit.
I love it. Nice work, everybody. Thank you so much. If you're interested in getting a little bit more and you like this, we've created master classes, which are super low cost, low barriers to entry. And we're so proud of these. Our master classes for reps and our boot camps for managers are taken off this year. Typically, we work with large companies who've got 50 to 500 reps, and they're big, expensive engagements. If you're on your own, if you're on a team of 10 or less, check out these master classes because it's world-class education at a fraction of the cost. This masterclass has 3 classes on cold calling with live interactive sessions and coaching. You get a peer cohort that goes with it. You can save $100. Go to factor8.com/calls. Carrie, would you put that in chat for everybody, please? The promo code you need is cold_call. Cold_call. And you get $100 off because you attended this today or watched the recording. Woo-hoo! We invite you to be part of the family. Our landing page will tell you about all the upcoming sales shots. If you enjoyed this fast-paced fun, come back next month for another. In the meantime, find us on LinkedIn. You can find me personally, LB, or you can visit factor8.com, thesalesbar.com. And if you're intrigued by what's going on with this girly thing, Girls Club is wearegirlsclub.com. Here we go. Boom, right at the hour. We did it. Thank you, everybody, for being here. We'll see you next month. Way to go, Carrie Smith. Bye, everybody.